All right, y'all. So it's not a news story, but it's a story that recently resurfaced. And I thought it was interesting. I didn't really hear about this story until yesterday. And I thought it was an interesting story. Now, once again, I don't know why I'm getting these advertisement of some toes. I watched one video from Nessa. Nessa recommends one video, from the Christian dude from Pop the Balloon, the dude talking about the toes. And now I got toes, on my advertisement. I don't know what that is, but I digress. Besides the point, Alicia Keys, she posted some videos and she was talking about her son. And now this is years ago. This is not even a recent story. This is just an interesting conversation that I want to have. All right. So I'm not trying to clickbait you. People be saying, oh, you clickbait, this is an old story, blah, 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 blah. Her son 18 now. I'm not trying to clickbait you. I just want to have a conversation because I think that this conversation is still relevant even today. All right. So I'm going to play this video. We're going to sit back and we're going to have a conversation. Let me zoom in so I can get away from these advertisements. Let me see if I can get away from these advertisements. Okay, that'll do. Let's go.
The other day, I went to the nail salon with Genesis. He's in the chair, and he's like, I want rainbow. So he tells the lady that he wants rainbow colors on his nails. And she brings all these colors, and she paints each nail a different color. And after he painted his nails, he looked at me and said, Mommy, I don't want this on my nails. And I was like, why? You were so sure you're good. And he was like, people are not gonna like it. Can you believe this? 4 years old. He's 4, and he already understands the concept that someone's going to judge him because he chose rainbow color on his nails. And I told him, why? Nobody's going to judge it. They're going to love it. It's so cool. Like, look how creative you are. Look how amazing. You had this idea. Stick with it. You chose it. You liked it. You do it. Who cares what anybody else says? And so I said, plus, a lot of guys paint their nails. This is not like some strange thing that you only do. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, so many. And that made him feel better. But it just got me to thinking how completely judged we are all the time. The way I see it is that there is masculine and there's feminine energies inside of us all, and that's period. That's just how it is. And it gets concerning to me that we can't just explore these different sides of ourselves, these different energies that are within us. And even for me, myself, I oftentimes express the masculine energy that's inside of me. And it's very natural to me. That's how I feel. And all the time, if that happens, there's the judgments and there's the stereotypes and there's all the energy that comes toward that. And for my boys, similar. If they want to express the feminine energy that's inside of them, there's all these judgments and all these rules and stereotypes and vibes. And it's really frustrating to me. I'm actually really, really frustrated about it. And I ask myself, why is that? Like, why can't we just express the different energies that are inside us? This is a very normal, ancient, powerful, spiritual understanding that we all have masculine and feminine energies, and we should be able to explore and express them however we want to. What do you think? That was my rant. It's a major rant. I did that.
Yeah. It'd be praying for it. I hope Billy, I hope Billy asked little Johnny to the prom. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I think you have a lot of people who worship and idolize celebrities. You have a lot of celebrities who worship and idolize false gods, and they're following this new agey type of, you know what I'm saying? They're just following some weird demonic, some dark stuff. It's obviously not of God. And I think that trickles down. So you have these celebrities worshiping this new agey, these false belief systems. And then you have the people worshiping and idolizing the celebrities. So it trickles down. And I don't think it's an accident. And then you have all these parents who, they actually seem like they're encouraging this type of behavior. It's like they want to encourage this type of attraction. And it's weird. And it's very concerning. But then when you push back on it, oh, then you're the one, you the problem. You're the judgmental one, as she said, right? And listen, I'm not trying to go too hard on Alicia Keys, because this is, as I have already previously said, this is an old story. This is an old headline. It's not recent. I don't know what she currently believes in. It might have changed. It might have become even more of the same. I don't know, right? I don't know. But I did want to have a conversation because I was talking about, and the screen's going to be a little bit bright. The screen's going to be a little bit bright. So just, this is your warning right now. If you need to turn down your brightness, and go ahead and turn down your brightness. I was talking about a story involving that college student. If you remember, the college student got wrapped up in the cult, and then it turned out to be like a mother god cult. And it got me thinking in relation to this story as well, because she was talking about like the masculine and the feminine, all being a part of our experience and whatnot. And it's like a spiritual experience. And I was trying to find, because in scriptures, there's places where God describes himself in motherly terms, right? But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. He's not saying that he's a woman. He's not saying that he is mother God, but there's places that, God describes his nurturing and his love, and he compares it to the love of a mother, right? You look at in Hosea, you look at in Deuteronomy, you look at in a whole bunch of different places in the Bible, right? And this is not necessarily to equate God to being a woman, or to equate God to being a mother or anything like that. But it's pointing out that, yeah, God has the ability to be nurturing in the same fashion that, a mother is nurturing. God has the ability to love in the same way that, we receive, love, as we know, from our mother, right? But what the world likes to do is they like to take ideas like that, and they like to pervert it, and they like to take it all the way to the extreme. And then they like to say like, well, that would mean that we all have, as she was saying, this feminine energy in us that needs to be expressed. And if you try to, oppress it, then you're essentially committing some form of child abuse, right? And then they want to try to say like, oh, it's okay if you want to give the appearance of a woman. So if you want to present yourself being in the appearance of a woman, that's completely fine. That's completely natural, because you're operating in your God-given natural energy of being both a feminine and masculine, energy. And they just always want to push the line and pervert things. I think there's nothing wrong from a man standpoint, and from, a man raising sons, because I have a son who, he like 11 months, something like that. He like 11 months. He looked like he 2 or something. That boy, he could get up. I don't know. That boy, he big. He kind of chunky. Anyway, I got a son, right? And as I said, I got another son on the way. All right. So I'm finna have 2 sons. And I think there's one thing that, is in my mind from this conversation specifically, is like, when I grew up, I was always kind of told, and it was kind of, frowned upon to like show emotion and whatnot. And that was deemed to be like soft. And so like I went through a majority of my life, if I ever like had moments where it's like, I felt like I wanted to like express my emotions, or like wanted to cry or something like that, it's like I would suppress it, or I would do it in private where, people wouldn't really like see and stuff like that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? You look at the scriptures, Jesus wept, right? Jesus showed emotion in that way. There's nothing wrong with that. But what the world wants to do is that they want to take it to the extreme, and they want to pervert it, right? There's nothing wrong with, us having this type of energy, in terms of having this nurturing energy in us, to where we want to, love our children, or we want to love people in our community. We want to love our friends and our family. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't take it over the top, and don't sit here and condition a child to believe that it's okay to present themselves with the appearance of a woman, because then you get into all this gender confusion that we see today. So, like I said, I don't know what she currently believes in. I don't know what she currently subscribes to. I do know, I think she lives like not too far from me. I'm not trying to flex or nothing like that. Like, I definitely don't live in her neighborhood, but I think she used to live not too far. And actually, I seen some people. It's crazy. I know of some people that ran into her one time. And she seems like a very, cool individual, but unfortunately, it just happens. People get misguided and misled sometimes, And like I said, this is an old video. I think this is her son now. So I think, oh no. What that's not, I don't think that's incriminating. I don't know. We getting too messy. I'm gonna get out of here. Listen, that's the only conversation I want to have is, the world likes to pervert things of God and take it to the furthest extent, but I don't think we should do that. All right. But what do you guys think? What? Agape, I didn't do nothing. What? I ain't do nothing. It's fruity. I know, but it's a little fruity, but I don't want to get into this conversation. I don't want to get into this conversation.